So just a couple days ago, the fine folks over at Toontrack released a new EBX for their EZBass platform. Anybody who doesn't know what EZBass is, it's Toontrack's, what I think is a really incredible bass guitar virtual instrument. Now, since the initial release, they have continually released new EBX packages, one for metal, one for vintage bass, and so on and so forth, which gives us new bass tones to be able to use with the existing grooves and programmability of EZBass. So the latest one that I'm really excited about is their upright EBX, which is a beautifully recorded upright bass. This is going to be a great addition to an already solid lineup, and this is going to be very useful to anybody who wants to add the sound of a really well recorded upright bass to any of their productions, whether it be just for composing or for a finished product. Now, the thing is, this is literally my first look at this. I purchased it minutes after I got the email from them. I believe it was $89 US, which is in and around where most of their, if not all of their EBX expansions are. Pretty much now I get an email from these guys, and if it's something that's in my wheelhouse that I could get some use out of, I don't even listen to the demos. I just go purchase it. I love what they do, but I wanted to give you guys the first impression and walkthrough of my first use of it. I haven't even looked at it yet. So I'm going to load it up in Cubase here and we're going to take a look at it. But first, let's see what instrument they actually used for this. So as we see here, they chose a Corsini Elite bass by renowned Romanian instrument luthier Călin Wultur. I believe maybe I'm pronouncing that right. Pardon me if I'm not. And they say it proved to have exactly all the qualities and the perfect match for the upright EBX that they were looking for. They say since we were after a plucked tone and a bass for a modern and acoustic approach rather than a classical, a flatback seemed like the first logical step. However, the quality of an upright's tone is a product of all of its parts combined, from the machine heads down to the tail gut, and the Corsini just sounded and felt right through and through. So there you have it, right from the folks at Toontrack. So let's dive over to Cubase and take a look and a listen to this new EBX expansion pack they've just released. So here I am over in Cubase Pro 11, and here is a copy of EZBass. Now, if you notice, if I go up to the top right corner here, there's a pull down menu, and here's all of the basses that I own from them. The Classic Rock, EZBass Modern, which loads up by default, EZBass Vintage, Fretless, Metal, and now Upright. Really liking the fretless as well that I've been using on some new projects. So let's hit the upright button, see what comes up. And there we have it. I always love the graphics that the folks at Toontrack put on here. The user interface is always very beautiful and inspiring. So we should probably be able to click anywhere here. And even get the slide and finger noises in there. Beautiful. So there's the basic raw tone of the instrument. So for anybody who has used EZBass, they know what we will have is in each of these expansions, we'll have a pull down menu over here. And I hope these are all on the screen. I think from what I can see, they are, with a bunch of presets. So we have everything from basic, amplified, ballroom, deep double bass, dual ribbon, folk, jazz room, jazz trio, jump blues, line drive, snappy and compressed, synced slapback, vintage ribbon, and woody. You can also alter any of these presets and save them as your own if they aren't perfect, but I usually find that a lot of these are a very good starting point for what we need. So what we want to do is we want to take a listen to this first just to hear what this actually sounds like. So let's do this first then. Let's go over to the Grooves tab, and you'll notice when you get one of these EBX expansions, you will get some MIDI that is designed to work along with the particular sound and articulations of that instrument. So if I go here to the EBX library for grooves and hit upright, you'll notice we have folders: mid-tempo, which has swing in 3/4 time, straight in 4/4 time, swing in 4/4 time, up-tempo that has swing in 4/4 time, and a 12 bars, which has swing in 4/4 time. Let's just start with the straight 4/4. That gets broken down into songs, which they call Have You Met Her, which is normally played at 103 BPM, Container Rock, which is 120 BPM. Let's just pick one of these and I'll play through it. Nice sound so far. You'll notice I hit the little tempo original button. That will bring the tempo up to the original tempo that they recorded this at, which is 103 BPM. If I don't have that on, it will revert to what my DAW is set at, which would be 92 beats per minute. We can hear that again. We can also go half time, double time on that and kind of mess with different settings that we have. Very well thought out by the folks over at Toontrack. So while I play this groove, why don't we go through and I will just take us through switching between the different presets that we have to get an idea of the sounds, and then we'll explore those a little deeper. You may hear a little click in between while it loads up the new preset, so bear with me through that. All right, what'd you guys think? That's just a quick run through, and I know there was some pauses in between while the new preset loaded. Not much I can really do about that, but it gave you an idea of what those presets sound like. Now, those are just going to be starting points for us, and I'll show you why. If we go over to the bass tab and we hit the effects button here, you'll notice that when I'm on this Woody preset, it gives me different options. There's a line and a mic. There's a level for the room and the size of the room. So if I go back and I play this groove, you'll see that there's different ways for us to adjust the tone within that preset, and then we could save our own preset. So what a great starting point all of these different presets they give us are. We have a direct pickup line output from the bass, and then we have the mic, which we can balance. We have room microphones, which we can blend in with a bigger room sound or a bigger blend of that room sound. So really useful. But as we switch through our presets, what we'll see is we have different microphones. Here we have a pickup with the line signal, the condenser and a ribbon mic, same room. Amplified, we go to the amp with the EQ and the ultra low and ultra high. So we can see why these tones are going to sound different. We can EQ that the way we want it to be. Ballroom, back to a condenser and a ribbon mic and a direct signal. Deep double bass, again, line and mic with a separate EQ on it. Dual ribbon, a close ribbon and a far ribbon mic with subtle EQ possibilities. Folk, we have line, close, and far mics. Jazz room, we have a different room, ribbon and condenser mic. We can balance the size of the room, the width. I'm guessing that's a stereo set of mics where we can widen those out. Very interesting stuff. Two of my favorites were kind of the vintage ribbon and the dual ribbon. I really liked this. And you can see how you can really tailor the sound by just adjusting the microphones and a little bit of EQ. Really, really, really nice stuff. I also really like the vintage ribbon, which gave us a room level, a tube drive, a tape drive. Very, very nice stuff. Let's hear what that sounds like. So again, we can see how we can really tailor these sounds. But I'm going to go back to the dual ribbon now. So very flexible, right? So as we know, we can basically find a preset we like. Let's hear what this sounds like. We could take any one of these grooves and just drag it down onto our timeline here, and we'll see that this will play back now with my DAW. You'll notice I changed the tempo as it was going along to the original tempo of this, because once I pull it down onto my timeline, it's going to revert back to what my DAW tempo was. So let's hear how this sounds, just this little piece here, if I pull up an instance of Superior Drummer. And I have loaded up my Rooms of Hansa vocal booth preset. This is one of my favorite drum kits that I have on Superior Drummer 3. If I go to the Rooms of Hansa collection here, let's see what the vocal booth is like. Bring the volume back on that a little bit. And I can drag that down to the timeline, much like I did with my bass groove as well. So now if I was to come in here and just set this up to do a loop from, let's say, bar 2 to the end of bar 9, we should hear these work together now. All right, nice stuff. So again, I could also just delete that. I could go to a completely different groove and just drag it down there and hear the same sort of idea. Obviously a very simple one, but you got to understand here too, I can come in here and very easily change this into a completely different chord progression with almost no effort, and now have something with a little bit more movement to it. I don't think it's the most appropriate two patterns to work together. You can hear there's kind of an upbeat, syncopated thing going on in the bass, whereas the drums are a little more straight ahead. So that, you know, if I was actually composing something here, I probably wouldn't just drag random ones down here. But what happens if I get back to the beginning? So really nice stuff, and it seems to sound really nice blended in with the drums, although this is just a really quick initial reaction to it. So what else do we have as far as MIDI goes here? We have some swing patterns. Very nice stuff. Let's go down to the 12-bar swing setting. So we can also see we can take any of these notes up here, select them. We have the ability to add slides, hammer-ons. We have different articulations up here, auto alternating between fingers, middle finger, index finger, ghost note, harmonic, percussive right hand tapping. So, you know, taking something like this and even drawing a new note in, we could come up to the note menu up here. We could add pitch bend to it. We could add vibrato, which is either going to start on the entire note, small, medium, wide, or with a delayed start. I've covered this in some of my other videos about EZBass. We also have the ability to change the percussive right hand, harmonic ghost note, the articulations of how the right hand is going to play it. So if I change this to a percussive right hand, we just simply get a different kind of click to it, a ghost note, which could be very nice when added in with other articulations, whether we're hitting with the middle finger, index finger, and so forth. We can do a harmonic. So it gives us the option to be able to even take some of these grooves and go in and alter some of the ideas. Maybe we don't like the sound of a percussive right hand or anything like that. We can change that. We can delete it just by getting rid of that note, bringing it back, changing the articulation. So really nice stuff. And I find that with the ability to use their existing groove library and be able to drag it on the timeline, change the chord progression very quickly to whatever we need it to be, and then change articulations, add slides, add hammer-ons, pull-offs, add vibrato. We can really quickly, and I have done it, when I'm composing for tone demos or even for my own material, I find it very intuitive and very quick to come up with a really realistic bass tone. Maybe I'm going to have it replaced by a real bass player at some point. That's fine, but it's a really nice way to work, and I find it faster than grabbing a bass, plugging it in, figuring out what I'm going to play. I can actually kind of visualize things on here. So what do you guys think? That was my first look and impression for the new Toontrack upright EBX. I'm very impressed, as I always am. Haven't been disappointed by too much that the folks at Toontrack have put out. I constantly use Superior Drummer 3, constantly use EZBass, and I find I can put together really great backing tracks or compositions very quickly using those. Like I said, even if it's something I'm going to replace by sending it to a real drummer, a real bass player, this can be a very inspiring way to work and give us, even spark new ideas for compositions, you know, with the simple ability to take a groove and change the chord progression and match what we want. And then, you know, if there's one or two notes that aren't what we exactly want, we can edit those as well. So really nice stuff, and my hat's off to the folks at Toontrack for another great release. So if that's something that would interest you guys, head on over to the Toontrack site. You can download a copy. Like I said, I believe it's $89 US, but it's a really nice addition to your EZBass and can give you some nice new tones that maybe we could spark some new ideas for some new productions. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and hanging out with me on this. Go give the folks at Toontrack a look and listen. Please like the video and share it with anybody who you think would enjoy it. And please subscribe to the channel and hit the little bell notification. I'll be back with a lot more content in the near future. Thank you guys so much again for your time. Ciao for now.